All right, so let's focus on the eye here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to add in an edge loop going around here. That's basically, I'm going to mark out, the brows, let's say, and let's go in there and now sort of mark that out a little bit better. Okay, so let's take those two actually, and just move them up a little bit, particularly this. Okay, and this I want to sort of have mark out the other eyebrow. That's looking pretty good. Okay, take this and maybe move that out a little bit. Bring this down. Maybe not quite that much. Okay, sort of want to create a circle going around there. Okay, so that's pretty good. Let's bring these down a little bit. Bring these down. Sort of always wanting to kind of smooth it out and round it out. Okay, so that's done. Now, if you look at this eye socket, it may seem like, okay, it's not matching up perfectly in terms of depth here, but what's also important, it's kind of like an eagle's eye or bird's eye or a fish's eye that's on the side of their head, right? It's not, so the inside of the eye is actually further, forward than everywhere else. And really what should be, it should be the middle right here, this area here that should actually be the most forward. So one of the things that's kind of can be useful is to actually bring in a sphere. And I am going to, I have the wrong tool. I'm going to select that sphere in object mode. And I am going to rotate it. Okay, 90 degrees. And another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on wireframe on shaded. So now that I'm dealing with two objects, I'm going to do that in basically in all my views, one so that I can see what's happening. So I'm going to take my sphere and I'm going to move that into the eye. And just something to be aware of, I'm going to press 3 here, is that the eye, very little of the eye is actually visible to us. So the eye is actually quite big behind. And then I'm going to take this in this view and move it forward. And notice what's starting to happen. It's actually pushing through. So I need to place this kind of where my eye is. I'm going to bring it down somewhat. Okay. And that's going to give me some idea. I'm going to add it to a display layer. I'm going to call this eye. All right. And say save. And then I'm going to also reference it so it cannot be selected. Actually, it might not be bad to template it. There we go. So now we see it just sort of grayed out there. All right, couple things on it. I'm still not, let me undo it because it's actually not matching up very well. Let me press, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to shading and I'm going to do X-ray. And this way I can see through to my eye. So I'm trying to match it a little bit better there. And then maybe scale it up even more. Okay. All right, with that done, I'm going to now template it. Okay, so now we can see where it is. Let's go into, into perspective view. And see if and here again, we're going to put wireframe unshaded. And what's important here is that we're going to go into vertex mode on our face, and those right there, we're going to move them forward. Okay? So we're going to be starting to shape our eye, and then also these here, we are going to push back. Okay? So we're starting to get the shape, and probably the one in the corner we're going to push back the most. So you're starting to get this sort of rounded shape. You're already almost kind of seeing eyelids in a way, even though they're not actually there yet. They haven't been modeled. Okay, so I'm just going to push that back. Let's take a look at what we have in this view. Okay, so you have to see that's looking much better. You see how this curves around. I'm going to actually push this back just a little bit more. And I'm going to take this and push that back, and this and push that back. There we go. Nice. Okay. and probably bring that forward a little bit so it's not so extreme. There we go. Okay. And with that done, we can start to move some of this a little bit forward. There we go. We want to create, actually, we've got to be careful because this isn't the eyelid, that's the eyelid, so we don't want to overdo that. Okay, something like that is looking good. We can fix a lot of this later on. So I'm going to take this, I'm just going to bring that up to create the shape of the cheeks. All right, looking good. All right, I'm going to hide my eye for now. That was just really to give it some sense. In fact, it seems like it's way too far forward. Let me just go in there and unreference it, and let's go to shading X-ray again and just bring that back a fair amount. Okay, that's looking a little bit better. Okay, so that matches there. Good, so I'm going to again hit reference, and I'm actually going to hide the eye for now. We just wanted to sort of block it in. And now I'm going to go to shading and turn X-ray offs. And same thing with the front view. I'm going to go to shading and turn X-ray off so that I can see what I'm doing. All right, starting to look pretty nice. Let's just mark this a little bit better. Okay. All right. Looking great. Okay, so in the next demo, we will extrude the nose.